Welcome to Behind the Mirror podcast. I'm Lisa.
Hi, I'm Laura.
I'm Gary.
And today we are discussing, well, actually you're in charge.
Yeah, well, I've got lots of subjects I want to talk about. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but they're going to come to me. So first of all, I wanted to ask, do you keep your client record cards? Remember years ago you used to have your wee box and you had your name and your address and all that sort of stuff. Do you still keep them?
No.
Yes.
On paper?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you? Are you old school?
So the reason I stopped doing them was when we were shutting down the second salon, the whole GDPR thing came in. And even with receipts from card machines, they had to be stored and locked away and things like that. And I thought, I'm not doing this. I'm like, this is too much hassle. So we scrapped it, so we don't have a card machine either. So we are like bank transfer or cash. 98% of people just do a bank transfer. But what I started doing was I'd ask my clients, I says, listen, can I have your telephone number? So I've got the only thing that I really need. And I've got them in my phones under their first name and their last name. I also have their birthdays in my phone because if it comes up on Facebook, rather than leave them a message on Facebook, I'll message them privately. And when I do that, it then saves their birthdays to my phone. But I've noticed that I'm maybe saying like, oh, go on and do this, and I'll send them a link and it'll come up on their phone and I'm under Gary Hare. Just Gary Hare. And I think, I've got you under your first name, your last name and your birthday. And it's not even a capital G or an H. It's like a small G and a small H. And I'm like, surely I should just be in your phone as Gary Corcoran. But I just wanted to press on that, like with the record card thing.
So you wonder then at that point, is the relationship viewed differently? Is it just a transaction?
Gary does here.
Yeah.
To me, I'm like, no.
Do what
and
you
plus,
do.
I've also got like 5 Megans. So if I had them in my phone as Megan Hare, I'm not going to know who it is or who I need to phone, sort of a thing. So that was one of the things I wanted to touch on. I was like, I wasn't hurt and I wasn't upset, but I was like, Gary Hare. I also found out once that my mum has me on her phone as Gary's son. And I think, surely it should just be Gary. Surely I'm the only Gary.
The most important one.
You picked my name.
And we're a dying breed as well. You know, Gary's are dying out. Like, you never see a baby called Gary anymore, do you? In fact, I've never seen a baby called Gary.
There is a thing with that. I know it's like been so many years before there's been since there's been a baby born called Gary.
Well, every now and again it comes up on Facebook memories because I shared it and it's like, Gary's a dying breed. And you're like, so bring back Gary. Bring back Gary.
Is it bring back him? No, I don't know about that. I've obviously got my own experience with Gary, so I'm
Oh, that's right. Did they not have the same last name as me as well?
No, just the same initial. That's why in my phone you're not saved as Gary C either. It gives me the fear.
Okay. One fact though, it was a hairdresser from Manchester who years ago, about a year ago should I say, invited me down to be on a podcast down there, but nothing ever came of it. But he says to me that I had the same name as his ex, so anytime I would message him, he would get like the fear thinking it was his ex. So it's quite an unusual name, isn't it?
Is any names?
So basically, Lisa wants me to announce to everybody today.
You've
not given me an option. Yeah, so there's actually 4 of us presenting today.
And it's not me, although you might think that's just body stress weight.
Yeah, so there is baby number 3 is on the way, due in November.
Baby Gary.
So could be baby Gary. Could
If it's a girl, just spell it with an I. Gari.
G'day. So that's very exciting. So
that's good news for you.
Yes.
That's very good
Yeah.
news.
So we're going to expect lots of topics coming up.
Yeah, well, if I look like I'm putting on the beef, that's why.
Beef tallow.
Yeah.
I actually watched the episode and I'm going to buy some beef tallow. Like, I really can't wait to try it. But I did like how you were like, because you're a vegetarian, you're like, I can't touch this. But I think I would definitely buy it.
I don't eat it. I don't really want to slather it on my face. Do you know what I mean?
I remember thinking it was going to be a bit of a... Again, I seen it on TikTok, so you're thinking, are any of these things real? You know, you see everything on TikTok now.
Yeah.
And I feel like TikTok's changed from... I used to love going on and having a good laugh and watching all the funny videos and joining in with the trends, you know, just like dance trends and all that sort of...
That was very COVID era, wasn't it?
Yeah, it really
TikTok?
was.
I don't know, like you've created a few personal injuries.
Well, that's
Oh,
right.
but they're all old videos. You don't get a lot of I don't see a lot of dance things now.
No.
Maybe Willow would disagree, but
But now it is just everyone selling things left, right and centre, isn't it? So
yeah.
That's why we quite like the fact that we are not paid to promote ever.
Yeah.
Like, we do not talk about products that we're paid to sponsor. We talk about them because we genuinely like them. And I think that definitely sets us apart.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely.
And it's annoying, right? I've noticed, see, on our Instagram, sometimes Instagram thinks because we're talking about a product, it sent us a notification saying, you've not advertised this as ad. That's because it's not.
It's not an advert.
But it's obviously so rare that they're like, no, you're breaking the rules. No, we weren't paid. So, yeah,
But
anyone
I think
following
it's
us.
also very important to add that now and again we raise products that we don't think are doing their job properly. And one I wanted to talk about today was L'Oreal No Haircut Cream.
Oh, go.
I've never heard of this.
Oh my God.
Oh, do you not know that you could buy a cream and you'll never need your haircut ever again?
So is this a supermarket brand?
Supermarket
Oh,
brand.
of course.
So L'Oreal, you know, they do L'Oreal Elvive.
Uh-huh.
And they do like, there's a purple range now as well. It's like
Extreme
hydrochloric. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So they have one, it's the orange, and I think it's pink on it. We'll put it on the screen. So it's called No Haircut Cream. So, sounds fantastic. So, basically what it does is what it claims to do is cure your split ends. So, you never have to get your hair cut. You just use this cream and it will grow instantly into this long, luscious... Now, it doesn't work. It definitely does not work. So, basically what it does is it's full of silicones and it coats your hair.
A bit like boxed eye conditioner.
So, what it does is it smooths your hair. It smooths it. It's like a sort of frizz control product. Yes, perfect. Sell it as that. It definitely does not repair split ends. It creates this sort of layer of silicone on your hair, which then adds this sort of glossy tone to
and
it.
it feels healthier.
Feels lovely. The problem you've got is through time that'll build up and it can make the hair feel heavy. It can make it feel greasy. The other thing is to know it can block the cuticles on the hair. So the problem you've got with that is then it stops the moisture from getting into the hair. So underneath this layer of silicone, you end up with quite dry, brittle hair, which we know ends up snapping the hair. And so it really is not good for your hair at all. The other thing to note about the product is it contains vegetable keratin. So obviously through time that builds up on the hair, which makes it dry and brittle. So if you are using the product, you really need to make sure you're using a clarifying shampoo to strip it back because it's not good. Now, we have discovered the only thing that actually cures split ends.
It's a huge kept secret, actually, in the industry.
That's them.
A pair of scissors.
That's
It is
them.
the only thing in the market that will cure a split end.
Obviously, the difference with things like the products that are claiming to repair broken bonds, they cannot repair a split ends. Once it's split, it is permanently split. And that's when we were talking about the cheese string thing. Now, loads of my clients then came to me and were like, oh my God, I didn't realise. If all of that is split and Laura only cuts that off, it's still going to be split and there's no point. It's still going to keep fraying up the way.
Well, the problem we've got with this product is these split ends are still in the hair and they're still going to work their way up eventually. So you're just prolonging the pain.
Yep.
You're still going to have to get it cut, if not get it cut more. It's just, it's such a scam.
Have you seen the technique that people do and they wrap the hair round the finger?
Yeah.
And slide up and you're thinking, it looks good for Instagram, but again, you're not cutting the split ends away. You're just taking away the cuticle that's pushed out slightly. It's still going to be there. But then there's also, I'm sure you've seen the machine that apparently you run down the hair.
Oh,
and
we
it
need to
cuts
get
all
one.
the way. We actually do need to get that.
I'm not doing it on my hair, but we'll get a Sally head and we'll investigate, because my thing with that is I've seen numerous brands from cheap to expensive and these people are like, oh, and they run it from the root. And I'm like, imagine a malfunction and you've got a wee spike at the top of your head. But obviously, how does the machine know what is split and what's not?
It doesn't.
It can't see.
No, it doesn't.
So exactly, so that's what makes me think, well, is it just chopping bits of hair as it feels
Nobody's
like?
got a split end surely in at your roots.
But the videos are all from the root down and then they do it over the bottom and you're like, either it's set to cut a mil off or because it has to be factually doing something because
You do
they clean
see
it out. Like
Sorry.
shaving your legs like a shaver. It's doing that bit down the way. But how it knows, so it could be, if you're bringing it from here, is it just hacking random bits off?
It would be quite interesting to get one in and try it actually, because again, let's try it. Let's find out
Yeah.
if it actually is good or not. So if there is a company out there that want to send us one,
If you want to put your name to a non-paid honest review,
yes,
that'd be
we'll give
interesting.
an
A lot of them
honest
won't.
review.
No, 100%. And actually, one of the cool things about when we're working with brands, there's so many companies that are absolutely diehard their product and they've got nothing to lose. They know that. And therefore, I think, like, so, you know, they'll send us something knowing fine well it could go not in their favour. But you got to have brand confidence to give a team of people honest reviews when you're not paying us for it, because we don't need to be loyal to a product. We want to be honest to the customers.
100%.
But that means that they've got everything to lose, but also everything to gain. Because if we then say, "Oh no, do you know what? It was pretty brilliant," we're not paid.
Exactly. And then we would use it on everyone if it actually did work and everything.
Challenge.
But, yeah.
We'll get our agent onto it. Like, get the split end trimmer. We'll all be sitting bald.
It would be interesting to see it, definitely. I would like to try it anyway.
Yeah, well, we could do it on you because you can grow your hair back. You could
Aye, but
just shave yours off if it goes
Split
wrong.
ends. I take very good care of my hair.
Well, there's an interesting thing. What if you've got no split ends? Like, obviously short
it take
hair.
something off?
Would it still take something off? How does it know? Has
Well,
it got a sensor?
I was driving here today and I was stuck in traffic and I had the sunroof open and I was like, God, my hair's so shiny for being blonde. I was like, I'd take care of my hair. I take care of my hair
I
very,
love that,
very
like
well.
blowing your own trumpet. Love it.
I actually love the fact that he takes his clients on their birthday. That is the cutest thing I've ever heard.
I just think it's nice, and it's a personal thing. Most people could just jump onto Facebook and HBD and then it writes happy birthday for you, and to me, I love my clients. I genuinely do, and I want them to know that I'm aware that it's their birthday. And sometimes, because I'm not on Facebook all the time, if it wasn't for the a professional page, I wouldn't be on Facebook. I think Facebook is the biggest waste of time ever. It's just folk asking when the doctors are open, when Google's there, somebody moaning about somebody's kid hitting somebody else. I would not have it if it wasn't for the
It's all
professional
mum
page.
buns and kid chat, and I just
Have
love
any
it.
of them message you on your birthday?
Do you know, a lot of them actually do, but a lot of them will send me on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
So obviously, like, it's
But they're
interesting.
reminded.
My salon Instagram has like 200 followers. I got my new girl Andy on the case the other day. I was like, because you tagged me in something, and I was like, oh my god,
You're tagged in everything. We
I
tag you
tag
in both.
everything.
But
my
if we-
Instagram's like 8 years old, and I haven't put anything on it ever. It's just got like 6 images of
It
very
feels
old
wrong
school
just to
stuff.
tag us though.
Oh, I would never do that.
I know.
So, but my Facebook, I've got loads and loads and loads of followers on Facebook, because when I started the business, Facebook was probably bigger at that point, or I knew how to work it better. Really, is the crux. I was like, Andy, I need all of these photos removed. I need captions. She's put something on my phone, which is like some quirky keyboard situation, which changes it to like fancy text. But see, when I'm texting people, it's like moved it to like a new font. I'm like, oh, what's happened? I look very invested in this conversation.
What I've noticed is because I have posted that I'm through to the Shabba finals for Best Male Colourist. Thank you very
Well
much.
done.
Thank you. But what I noticed, I put it on Instagram and it automatically shares to my Facebook. And I did get a lot of engagement on Instagram, but Facebook was where I got the most,
love.
the love, and I'm not slating anybody that's on it, but I do think it's more your mums and your
I was
mums
going to say
pals
it's the
and stuff
kind,
like that.
it's the age group.
Yes, it totally is. And I had so much support from people, which I'm truly grateful for. So, in one hand, I'm saying I wouldn't be on Facebook, but in certain cases, Facebook has a great audience and people for engagement.
Yeah. Facebook's definitely like a sort of an older age group, and then I feel like Instagram's like our kind of age,
Yes.
and then TikTok I think's younger again.
I've-
Not all, but I think majority.
Yeah.
Going by even like the posts that we put out, how they are sort of interpreted, definitely.
Which is mental, because my salon TikTok has 16,000 followers. My Instagram has 200 and my Facebook has like 2,000 or something. And it's Facebook that I get most of my bookings and interaction from.
That's amazing. That's what I'm saying. It does have its purpose, definitely. It definitely does.
I think TikTok, what I found most people were following me for was like ideas, not booking me as a business. They
Yeah.
wanted to see the transitions. They wanted to see maybe like, ideas and hair ups or something like that. They weren't necessarily looking for a new stylist, because
Yeah.
whereas Facebook, you can say, where's local to me?
Yeah.
Found them.
Possibly.
Wonder how many salons have scrapped a website as well.
I don't have a website. I've never
don't
had a
have a
website,
website.
actually.
I've never.
So that's
If
an
it asks me
interesting
for a
thing.
website, I put Instagram. That's my website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where all the work is. That's all. Everything is on there that you need to know.
Yeah.
Every single thing. So what else I wanted to talk about is I brought in a book. I brought in a book. So, Lisa, I don't know if you're a wee bit too young to know who Leo Palladino is, do you?
No, I know who he is.
All right, well, I actually don't know who he is, but I know the book, right? And so James had rebought it. He had it years ago. I think he loaned it out to one of our assistants and we never got it back. So it was
£2.50.
do you know what? I think it was £4.50. Does it say £2.50
It
on
says
the back?
£2.50 on the back.
Oh, I think he's because he bought it online, so I'm sure he says it was £4.50. So
Oh,
I
he's
think
been scammed.
But
Good
Ian
James.
Guilds.
it's so interesting
Setting
to
Guilds.
Got a
see.
tint on it.
That's it. I trained with Setting Guilds.
So yes, this is basically, at one point, this was the Bible. This is everything that you needed to know. And reading over it, a lot of the fundamentals are still in there that we all still do. But what I really wanted to talk about from the book when I was going through it, this actually, what's the word? This actually encourages you to dilute your peroxide rather than using the correct peroxide. So where I've left the wee bookmark there,
I'm like already looking at the hair dryers, like how old school. There's no nozzle in that one or anything. It's just a Daneman and a Babyliss hair dryer. Like,
do you always blow dry with a nozzle?
Yeah.
See, I don't.
Do you not?
It dries the hair quicker.
I know, but
Yeah,
you've got
but
less
some-
control.
Yeah.
So in my first salon that I ever worked in, it was just a tiny, tiny wee salon, and she couldn't afford straighteners, so she taught us how to blow dry perfectly straight without a nozzle. She taught us how to blow dry with a nozzle, but she taught us how to blow dry perfectly straight and smooth without a nozzle. And I feel like if you've not got the nozzle on, you get a lot more volume because rather than the air being directed onto the hair, it's almost kind of a directing around the hair. But that's just a personal thing for me. That's so.
What
I
happens if
do
it's short hair?
short hair. I never use a nozzle.
But I wouldn't want some parts of the hair dried till I'm ready to dry them.
I would need to probably do a blow dry in front of you to see what it is. And I'm not saying I'd never, ever,
Could
ever
you do it with
use-
this? Big bad boy, the infrared.
Oh my Lord, I haven't
I mean, what is
that.
this? Like the infrared 3000? Like, that looks like a spaceship
It
on the
does,
end of a dryer.
Anyway,
Actually looks
the
quite
time.
intimidating. If someone took that out, I'd be like, oh,
But
you're
it's
gonna
such
burn
an
me.
interesting
I'll
book.
give you over
even,
to
even just the it's just the cuts and things like that, because again it does all stem from everything that we now know and use, as we were talking about Vidal as well. So
You said it encourages you to dilute your... That's really hard to say. So you said it encourages you to dilute your peroxide.
it does say to encourage me to
Rather
deliver.
than
It does say to encourage me.
Rather than using having like your
Your 369 brother.
whatever,
But
yeah.
then also, is this book going far enough back where it's talking about when they had even higher levels?
So let
What's
me
the highest
see
level
here.
it's got?
So this is based. Oh, it does say 18 here actually.
Oh, cheeky, hello.
So
I thought that it was all going to be 30. So
the 18 would that would be close to your... What would that be then? 50?
12% is 40, 18 will be 60. And I've now just realised that this is saying 30%, not 30 volume.
Yeah.
30%.
Yeah, because they didn't, I think
That's
the
why
reason,
he's telling you to
to
dilute the
dilute
peroxide.
it. The reason that they had such heavy peroxide, but it got taken away, I'm sure, we might need to fact check this one, it was because you can make bombs
Of course, yeah,
with
yeah.
peroxide.
Yeah, that's true.
And obviously people were able to just walk in willy-nilly with zero accountability for buying this high level of peroxide. So they redid it.
I can't believe I'm actually speaking about this and I haven't read it properly myself.
Yeah, so when I trained, we didn't have that. Like, you're right, I am young enough to not have worked with that, but it was part of the history that I trained on, that like salons had
we
like
did it
80% and stuff.
We did it sometimes if it was like you literally had nothing, and I'm talking about maybe like once a month, but I would always dilute from 12 and it would always be like maybe 6%, so it's literally half 12, half water, done, that's your 6%. But this is saying, so dilute your 30%, 3 parts of your 30% to 2 parts water, and that'll give you 18%. That's insane. Where would you ever need to use that level of volume or peroxide on anyone's hair? But I just thought it was really
Well, they
interesting.
didn't have
because we would
toners
never
back
do
in
it
the
now.
day, so you had to get your white.
Well, I suppose actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody was sent out the door without a toner.
Yeah, and a toner was like, what's that? I don't want that. That's an extra 15 quid, no
we
chance.
only use toners to correct. Like if something went wrong,
Yeah.
then we would use a toner.
Yeah, because nobody wanted yellow hair ever. Nobody wanted tone.
No.
They wanted white. So
Yeah.
that's a rapid service. That you better be a quick foiler.
Oh God, I couldn't even imagine. I couldn't even imagine having to do that. But anyway, yeah, I just wanted to bring that in. But there's loads that we could talk about in this, which I'll actually maybe sit down and actually take a couple of different things that are very, very interesting. But yeah, I wanted to talk about that because I just think you would never do that now. Never, ever, ever.
I think it's incredible how much has changed. But really, I mean, you had to know your stuff to know the ratios. If you messed that ratio up, then I mean, your result's not going to be what you
And it was
expect.
probably a measuring cylinder as well, rather than scales as well. So you're just hoping that
Your-
measuring cylinder
Your eyes
spot on.
accurate. I know.
So anyway,
There's
apologies.
tint stained round it, and you're like, that's scraping it off. Like,
know.
oh my God, is that the exact point that I needed
know.
it to be?
I know.
What's your favourite thing to do colour wise?
Oh, I don't know. That's
Colour correction.
I do a lot of colour correction. That's probably how my brand started. So,
Is that your favourite though?
I actually quite like the challenge. So yeah, I actually controversially quite like a box dye correction. See where it's patchy as anything. It's a complete mess. It's 3 different colours.
So stressful. I had one of them the other day.
No, but I built my whole business on that. I decided to take on jobs that nobody else would because I was really confident in colour. Colour was my bag the whole way through hairdressing, and that's how I built my brand. And then now I do everything, but well, no, I don't. I'm not massively a fan of vivids. And I've got 2 people who have vivids. One gets like a rainbow, it could be like mermaid, whatever we're doing. And I love doing it, but I couldn't do it full time. I wouldn't want to be doing that all the time. I have to do quite a lot of prep before it. I've got to be looking up things. I've got to be educating myself constantly on new techniques. So yeah, I don't think time-wise it would work for me.
I mean, I know it's not something that you want to go down the route of doing. Excuse me. I know it's not something you want to go down the route of doing, but there's a guy called James Marsters. Have you heard of him?
Yeah.
Outstanding. I've never seen someone do vivids like this man. This young man, should I say? But he's outstanding at it, and they always look so classily done. You know, it's he's just amazing. Like
They're almost seamless.
Oh, 100%. And you're like, how do you even do that?
I know.
How do you know what you're doing? But he's just amazing. Plus, he's a Pokemon fan, so that's why I follow him as well.
I think to charge for that though, you need to be good, because the money you need to charge a client is a lot to make your own. Like, you know, if you're taking hours and hours and hours just to put on different things, and you've got to make sure they don't run into each other, your sectioning has got to be perfect. You know, you need to charge your worth there. So if I wouldn't say I was bad at them, but I'm certainly not, like, it's not my bag. So I can do you an alright one, which means you get charged an alright price, and my client knows that. Like, I've said to her so many times, like, by the way, you might be better going to rainbow rooms or something that kind of do this more often, but you're paying the price tag for that then.
I really enjoy doing vivids, but again, I wouldn't want to do them all the time. But I really like doing things like rainbows and prisms and things like that. That's one of my favourite things to do. But I don't get a lot of call from it. I'm more like my blondes.
Well, you don't take on new clients now, do you?
I don't know. Sometimes I will if it's through a recommendation of a client. And I'll always say, is this client a crackpot? Always say that, because I've made the mistake in the past. I can't say no to people, right? I am going to tell this story, right? So, about a year ago, a girl came into the salon, and she caught me off guard, and she's like, I felt like she wasn't 100% in the room, if you know what I'm saying.
What?
A wee bit loco.
Oh, right.
Something going on there.
So lights are on, nobody's home.
Oh my God.
And so she says to me, I want you to do my hair. You've done my hair before. And I went, no, I haven't. I've never done your hair before in my life. So anyway, within seconds, this smell hit me. Like this awful, awful, awful smell from this person that came in off to the point where I actually done that when I was speaking to her. So I thought, right, I'll tell her a crazy price. I made her wait about 3 months because I thought she'll not even come in because she'll not wait. So the day that she was due in, this is so bad.
She never cancelled?
No, she did not cancel. So I was doing my last client, and I was like, right, I've got half an hour before she's here. I'm just going to go, and I'll tell the team to tell her that I've had to go home because of an emergency. Because it was a Saturday as well, and I thought she will cause a really bad smell in this salon. And when I tell you, girls, it was awful. It was a really, really bad smell, to the point where I thought I would be angry doing your hair because it's so bad.
What? Like body odour? Like
unhygiene?
So I'll tell. Let me finish
all
the story.
right, okay. Because I'm like,
because I didn't know how to describe it. I didn't know if it was body odour or something.
Has she stood on dog poo?
She's been rolling in it.
Oh.
Basically, we had a girl who was cleaning for us. She's one of the girls that works in the salon, sister, and just to kind of help her out, she would come in and clean and stuff like that. And she had to go out and basically tell her that I had left. But she turned up half an hour early, so she's seen me in the salon.
Oh,
that she knew that I was in. So I ran through the back. Gemma went out to speak to her, and I says to Gemma when she left, I went, is she still smelling? She went, the only way I can describe it is infection with bacteria. And I'm like, I know that's how bad it was. And that she smelled the same when she came in for her first appointment to when she came in. But she came in another day.
Oh.
She came in another day. And I was going to James, I went, James, you'll need to go to reception because I'll end up saying hi to her again and that's the next thing. So James went out and she's like, I want you to do my hair. The guy that was supposed to do it last time ran away. She's seen me. She's seen that. She says the guy that was supposed to do it last time ran away. And James says, no one's taken on any new clients. And her dad was with her, and he's like lurched out of the Addams family. I'm not joking, just standing there with this big trench coat on like that. He again, lights on, not home. and he says, well, who's going to do my daughter's hair? And James went, well, I don't know. I only work in here, and walked away from them and just left them standing in reception. And I was like that, waiting for the doorbell to go. And they went, and I went, oh, thank God you were out there, because I'd have told her, aye, I'll do it again.
I know.
I don't even know how we got into that conversation.
Why?
We were
But
talking
what
about
is
Vivids
that?
because she was wanting a Vivid sort of a thing, but it was disgusting. It was so
Gee,
bad.
did you ever find out what the smell was?
I don't want to know what the smell
Oh,
was.
no.
Today's episode not sponsored by Valenti London.
No.
How weird is it that I
Listen,
had one
even
of
at
them?
Valenti wouldn't have covered the smell
No,
that bad.
honestly, it was so bad. And I know I would have been so angry doing it because I can't stand bad hygiene either.
My God, I wonder what it was, for it to be as
Pungent.
bad as that.
Well,
Yeah.
obviously somebody used Laura's toilet in her salon, and
Yeah, I don't know. So this was a wee while ago. I don't know if you've heard this story, that somebody came in, and so you know where we are, we're situated right at the train station, and somebody had come in and they were waiting on a bus at the train station. They were tourists of some form. I think they were American or Canadian. And they came in and they asked to use the toilet. So it was busy. It was like a Saturday. It was very warm, all the doors. So we've got windows and they open up like a door. For some reason, it was just very strange. I don't know. She came in, she used the toilet, but then the friend came in, but she came in through the window. It was very weird.
Like
And,
Clarissa?
yeah, like that. And then they left very quickly, but then they both left through the window. So she came in the door and then they both left through the window. So they basically walked right the way through all the stylists that were working. But Ailey said the smell hit her as soon as they walked past. But she walked by like carrying a bag of poo. So she'd obviously had some kind of accident. I'm not really sure. But then
She
like,
was in the toilet anyway.
no, but when they went in the toilet, it was all up the walls. It was everywhere. So something had exploded in there.
her.
Pretty much.
She said her first Vindaloo in
And
Scotland.
but then we were like, so we were sitting, we were in the salon looking across at the bus stop, and she was wiping her legs down with baby wipes.
No, that gives me the heave.
And then they came straight to your salon and asked for a Vivid.
Oh, probably.
See,
aye.
when you come in the door, they walked like through, like, so you just go straight into the toilet and then you would go straight back out. But she came out the toilet and then walked by the basins and then went out. So she literally went through the salon, out the window. But I was like, why were they using the window?
Folk are strange. Oh, this is how we started speaking about not taking on new clients. I was going to say, this is why I don't take on new clients, because I feel if you are looking for a new hairdresser, someone sacked you.
Yes.
9 times out of 10, someone has sacked you and you're looking for another hairdresser. That's
Or-
what I get.
I don't know, because obviously, like, so I started with the box dye corrections. Like, that's a lot of them came from that. Then, because I was doing so much correction work and keeping their hair integrity and keeping things safe, they were recommending me to people who maybe were brunette and wanted to go balayage, wanted to go blonde. And they felt like where they were maybe wasn't specialising in that so much. So then I was developing clients through recommendations.
Yeah, no, that's
So I've been so lucky. Did I ever tell you that one time I got pinned up against the wall in my salon?
No.
It was,
Tell us more.
it was no, that's not what you think. It was horrific.
Not in a good way.
This woman and her mum were booked in. They had just opened the salon. It was really busy, and I was saying yes to everything because I'd just opened, and it was like, yep, that's fine. And I would book the appointment. They'd done the patch test, whatever, a week before. I think it was just the way it was all working. It was all mental, and they were really late, so it was like an hour after they were meant to come, and I'm texting like, are you on your way? What's happening? And I'm sitting and I'm like, oh my God. And I was doing 12-hour shifts 5 days a week just to get busy and get the salon opened. And eventually I'm closing up and I see them walking down. So it was mum and a daughter. And I'm like, oh, you guys are like an hour and a half late. So maybe doing them
terrible.
back to back. And it was just before Christmas. It was like a couple of weeks before Christmas. And the girl's like, so when I say, sorry, mum and daughter, it's like, 40-year-old, 65,
not
it's
a
not,
child.
it's not a child. And she's like, I'm sorry, we kind of get messed up. I didn't see any text. And I've been phoning, I've been texting. I said, right, okay, well, what we'll do is, I don't have time to do both your colours tonight because it's going to take too long. Going to finish at really crazy o'clock. I started very early. So I'll do one of your colours and then in between I'll do the other one's cut and blow dry and you can come back in. Well, the mum went absolutely mental, totally mental, and was like, this isn't good enough. You're letting us down before Christmas. And I was like, no. You're kind of letting yourself down.
Oh,
I'm
you
still
let yourself
accommodating you.
down.
I'm still saying I will find somewhere else for you to go. I just don't want to work till midnight tonight doing colours when I started so early. So started doing the daughter, like going to section it and whatever, and the mum's just making all these comments, really rude, just horrible person.
Leave at that point.
So I did. So I stepped back from the daughter's hair. The daughter was lovely, I should mention. And I'm like, I'm really sorry. I actually feel really uncomfortable doing it. Any of your hairs, I'm not having comments made about my work. You know, she was like, you're really unprofessional. You're really, what was it? It was a fraud. That was the word she used. You know, you've promised the world and you were going to help us before Christmas and you're not doing it now.
If you came on at the time you were meant to come.
It's like experience counts for a lot of things. You know, I hadn't long been open. I was completely on my own. I was like, quite nervous about this confrontational situation.
Yep.
Don't really like confrontation in my life anyway. So I'm like doing sectionist women's hair, and it took quite a lot for me to be like, nah, I'm not doing this. Like, I am not putting myself through this. So I said, I'm really uncomfortable. The next thing someone was like prodding me and whatever, and I'm like backing into the wall. So I burst out crying, which I never do. Just more like a fight or
That's really
flight.
intimidating as well, though.
Felt horrible.
You're on your own. There's
Yeah.
two of them. She
Yeah.
could have done anything to you.
And then I'm like, the daughter is like dragging her away, like, and she's saying to me, I'm so sorry. And I'm hysterical. I'm like, I just think you need to leave. I'm not interested in this. And it was dark because it was winter. So obviously I'm there on my own, dark. This woman's going off her head because I won't do her hair. And I'm thinking, what is happening here?
That's horrendous.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
That's
so
awful.
it gets, so I've got a lot of cop friends that live in the area. So I phoned one of my pals and I'm like, I've had a bit of an incident. I'm really concerned she might come back. I don't know.
Yeah, because you're a wee bit frightened at that point because you are on your own.
Yeah.
So,
And it's pitch black. And so I'm phoning my ex and I'm like, where are you? He's miles away. I'm like, oh my God. So I goes to like lock up and the daughter comes back on her own and she's like, I am so sorry. We've had numerous issues with my mum in restaurants, hairdressers. She's just like that. And I was like, she's awful. She's a horrible person that I don't know.
You do not want somebody like
No,
that as a client. It's
absolutely
actually just as well she wasn't on time because you'd have got stuck with her.
Well, I actually did her daughter. Her daughter came back and our daughter was like, I think she felt really bad because as you know, I'm not an emotional person, like a crier over a sad film. But I was like actually genuinely quite scared. I was like, oh my God,
It'd have been
what's
the
happening
adrenaline
here?
as well. And if you don't like confrontation, I once had a man punch me in the salon.
Did you actually?
So
Why?
I was 16 and it was in my first salon that I was talking about. And there was a girl in, I don't know if she was there because she knew the boss or something like that, so she was there to care for a job. And I, from the bottom of my heart, because you know I've not got a bad bone in my body, the girl had phoned her dad and says that I was bullying her at work. And it was I think it was because I'd asked her for one of her chips, and I know that's a bit funny now you can say about it, but
Is that the only thing you can think
it's
of that
the
it could
only
be?
thing I can think of. And I'm not a bully. I hate bullying in any shape or form. And the next minute, this guy came in and he went, come here, you. And luckily I was standing behind the desk. So what he'd done was when he punched me, I'll quickly lean back. So he still caught the tip of my nose, but I banged the back of my head off the wall. And again, I was like 16, so I burst out crying. Luckily.
Right, but you get a fright.
Oh God, I got a major fright because again, I don't like that. And it was like a big man, like punching like a 6-year-old boy. Luckily, my mum was sitting in the chair getting her hair done.
What's the
she
chances of
flipped.
that?
She flipped. She was grabbing him by the neck and all that and like throwing him out and stuff like that. But I was like, I have not been bullying your daughter. Like, well, I never even says that. This is just what I'm thinking at the time. I'm like, I've not done anything. Like, why have you just come in and assaulted me in my work?
That's horrendous. What did you do? Did you go to the police?
No, I don't think so. No, I
It
never.
was the same as me. I never either. I phoned my pal. But at the time, you also have this fear of your business reputation. I just opened. You don't know what story they're going to tell.
I know.
I didn't have cameras at this point. You know, like
know,
everything
so you've not
about
got
it, you're
any-
relying on my word versus 2 people,
Yeah.
your word versus 1. And you just think, oh, let's just let it die. I don't want to bring it back up.
I know.
Have you ever been assaulted?
No, not in the salon. No, I've been
Oh,
assaulted.
no, in the salon.
I was assaulted at school, but not in the salon. No.
Yeah.
Same thing, I was punched in the face.
Have you seen the...
She's a policewoman now, that girl. So if I'd reported her, she wouldn't be in the police. I actually had a conversation with her not that long ago through Instagram or Facebook, can't remember.
Are you feel comfortable talking about it?
That doesn't really need to be aired. Like, more just like, I'm not giving her the airtime. She was like mortified about it, obviously to this day, but I've never really let her forget it because
Was
I
this
hate
when
when
you-
people make out they're something they're not, and I'll always remember what she was and what she done to me.
So was this when you were in school, but she's come back
When
and
I was at
apologised later on
school,
at life?
yeah, because I used to sit next to her boyfriend at the time and like one of the subjects, and she said I was flirting with him. It's like just pathetic.
Well,
And then she came up, she punched me, but like that, I leaned back and I hit my head off the cloakroom hook.
oh, that'd have been
I know,
sorry.
but at the time, my mum wanted to go to the police because naturally as a parent, I mean, that's what I would do if it was Willow. But you just don't want the drama. And I was like, not make it worse, just leave it. She'd been drinking during school as well, so she was suspended. And now, as an adult, I wish I had, because that would have changed her career completely, because she is in the police now, and that really gets me. But then I know everybody makes mistakes, do you know? So
No, your fist is in your control. You
Yeah.
don't
and it
punch
was
someone.
premeditated, because she'd borrowed like somebody's like one of these like double rings
Oh, nice,
to
classy.
use. Yeah,
Argos.
So, just jealousy, but that you find that a lot of the time. It's usually it's a problem with themselves, and then they put it on you, don't they?
There was a woman who recently got married, and her brother-in-law's wife threw oil down her dress just as she was about to go down the aisle. I seen that on the TV the other day.
People are vicious.
It was just sheer jealousy and bitterness and stuff like that. But following on that from like kind of a technically bullying, like the David Hayes thing. Have you heard about that with Adam Thomas from The Jungle?
So I never watched Jungle.
I've not
this year,
watched Jungle.
but I really
Tell us.
usually like it. So what's
So
the
I
script?
didn't watch it myself, but I'd seen clips and things like that. So there was a big kick-off on the finale. I can't remember the footballer's name. He's got long blonde hair, well, kind of a medium blonde hair.
David Beckham.
No, it's not David Beckham. He wasn't on The Jungle. We can do our research and find out. But him and this Adam were in a team together. And it was if they failed the task, then they were getting eliminated. And this footballer said, I'm a celebrity, get me out of here. And Adam was like, I don't want to finish this task, sort of a thing. So he therefore would have been thrown out the jungle. Yeah. It turned out that Adam then went on to win it. But then when they went on to like the live final, they had like a huge argument, like where folk were sticking up for Adam, and I think Ant and Dec told these people to leave, and it was David Hayes. But he's now came to Facebook giving Adam a warning because Adam basically called him a bully and says that he's had to go to therapy after it because of how he was treated. And David was like, he's just not around men that have like men banter. And I just think people think banter is funny, but I always think that men say banter. They mean what they say, but they try and say it in a jokey way.
It's covering it up as something else.
Oh, I'm just joking.
It's like when someone says no offence, but they're about to cause offence.
Yeah.
Like if you're saying that, it's because you know that what you're about to say is going to be
It's going to
rude.
cause offence.
Yeah. No offence, you look like shit.
Yeah. Or I don't mean to be rude, and then they say something rude.
So he spoke about it on his podcast with his brothers, and he was like teary and things like that. But it's just insane how he's saying you've just not around proper men who like a bit of banter back. I used to work with a girl as well, and no matter what you said, it was always a negative comment, but she thought she was being funny, and I thought, you're actually bringing me down. I know you think you're being funny, but you're really not. I think the guy's name was Jimmy Bullard. That's exactly who it was, actually. Right, okay. So him and David Hay, is it Hay or Hayes? Hayes. They two were kind of moaning and calling him a little bitch and stuff like that, and it was kind of a bullying again, essentially. But David Hay apparently
they cover it up as a joke, and then that means it's banter. And
you can't take a joke. You don't know this, so it's pretty bad.
Such a small man meant it.
Right, that's
so
done.
So the other thing as well I wanted to mention was, so I've had a few clients that we as hairdressers talk about hair porosity all the time. And we kind of talk to clients about it as if they should know what it is. And I thought it might be quite good just to, I always quite like to go back to basics, especially if you've got people watching us that aren't a hairdresser. And, you know, there's different things, different words that we use from time to time that maybe they don't understand. So hair porosity is one of them. And I think it's really important even in your choice of products and things, like, you know, depending on what the porosity is of your hair can change depending on that. So for anybody that doesn't know, so your hair porosity is the hair's ability to absorb and retain moisture. And basically what that comes down to is how the cuticle lies on your hair. So you've got instances where we'll talk about low porosity. We've also got instances where we'll talk about high porosity, and you can also have just your medium normal. So one of the ways to test your hair, which is actually, well, there's two ways actually you can test how porous your hair is by getting a glass of water, taking a full strand of your hair and putting it in the glass. And if your hair floats, then your hair is low porosity. If it sinks to the bottom, it's high porosity, because what that means is it's absorbing all the moisture. If it sits kind of round about the middle, then that's obviously your medium. You're quite a normal sort of range. Another way to test it as well is in the shower, how long your hair takes to get wet. If your hair you know, if you have to stand under it and really soak it for a while before you shampoo it, then that means your hair's got low porosity.
Which obviously is more common in things like afro hair and things like that, that it takes quite a while to work the water and the product in.
Usually, if you've had chemically treated hair, if it's been lightened, 9 times out of 10, your porosity level is going to be quite high. What that means is it absorbs products really quickly, but also floods back out them as well because the cuticle is lying open. It's like an open door.
Yeah, which is why grey coverage can be difficult sometimes, because when the new grey hair comes in, and if it's quite coarse, which is not all the time because you can get fine grey hair, but a lot of the time it can be stubborn, coarse grey hair, then it's more difficult to get that colour to go in and stay in because you're having to really flood it to make sure it covers.
Does Goldwell have any pre-porosity products?
Yeah, so they've got a structure equaliser.
It smells amazing, by the way. See, it's a total unrelated chemistry thing. It actually smells so good. So did you guys see that Patrick Cameron obviously does the long access to hair? And that's always been his thing. He styled so many celebrities and really knows his hair ups.
He's outstanding.
Yeah, he's developed the first ever app for hairdressers to use to be taught how to do his work. That's a really cool thing.
He's a nice guy. I've met him a couple of times actually. He's really
he's
nice.
always so kind as well, and he's so jolly. Like, I think he's just so down to earth, whereas other maybe like celebrity hairstylists are not so approachable.
He's Australian, isn't he?
Yeah.
I think that helps as well. The Australians are lovely, aren't they?
I've got like photos, he was like hugging me and stuff for photos. I was like, you're just the cutest. Love that.
He was presenting Well a Trend Vision last year, so I seen him there as well. But he's such a lovely guy. I don't do hair ups, but I can appreciate a good hair up. I love watching them all.
We've got an episode coming up with a famous designer on a very specific hair tool, which is going to be cool for those of you that like hair ups. And I think that's good. But also, we're going to HairCon. Are you coming?
I don't know if I can go to HairCon, but I'm trying to see, because I'm working on the Saturday. I've got a bride in, all that sort of stuff. So
we'll get you some goodies while we're there anyway, if there's anything that looks
Thank
like.
you.
Yep.
Yes.
I've got like, you're going to have to hold me back. I'm like the worst. I see things. Like, do you remember the calligraphy pen? Who I have actually contacted, by the way. I was at London when they brought that out, and I stood for ages just watching. It's like a razor, right?
That's just like the razor with the ends.
It's got a square on the bottom of it. And I was watching the guy doing a demo, and I'm like, what's different about it? But I'm so ADHD intrigued by a new thing, and I needed it. And it was like, you don't get to own it. You can't buy it. You have to subscribe to it. And then you can advertise a calligraphy haircut. So that's the whole thing. What? It's like, it looks like a pen with a square. And the whole theory being that you do it's called a calligraphy tool. And you do a calligraphy haircut, which is very sculpted. It's very individual to the hair. And something to do with the razor blade on it is designed not to cause weakness to the bottom of the hair when you cut it. So like what they were saying is that some razors are causing damage when you're gliding down it, whereas theirs is designed at such an angle that it slices it straight clean so that the shaft is left with a nice clean line. But it was just I need it. I need it right now. And then I was with my old boss at the time. She was like, you're not buying that. You're not doing that. And I was like, stood for ages watching him cut this doll's head into a bob. Like, how is that different? How is it different? What's happening? I need to know. But I have reached out to them to see if they'll work with us to show the people, because there's people now that advertise a calligraphy haircut because it's a totally different service. They go through the training of the calligraphy pen and they advertise that.
I'd be interested to see what that looked like, because I don't do really any razor work at all.
Yeah, so is that quite like a razor, which is why I was quite into it. But they let you test them on the Sally heads when we were there, and it's quite heavy. Like it's a wee stick at the bottom, but at the end it's quite heavy to actually hold, as opposed to a razor that you've got, your finger goes through and it's...
Do you not think it's just another fad, like another name just to call something else to get more money?
I don't know. Like, it was a kind of cool shape.
I think...
No, but like, I mean, to call it a calligraphy haircut.
Oh, right, yeah.
It's like,
genius also, though. Like, someone goes like, I don't do haircuts, I only do calligraphy haircuts.
It's like kind of that undermines everything.
Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's a calligraphy haircut.
Oh my God. What are we coming to?
So what you can take from this episode is split ends creams, no haircut creams don't work. Don't get bullied in your workplace over a chip.
Stand up for yourself.
Here's what porous hair means, and you could know about it. And I think that's pretty much us. Yeah. Don't smell bad.
Please don't.
Please get washed before you come to your appointment. I would be very considerate.
Thank you for watching, listening, liking and subscribing. We'll see you next week with another episode.
Bye guys. Bye.
Behind the